Eric Worre here, and welcome to our goal setting session. Together today, we're going to go through something really special, and it was probably misnamed. It's more of a creating your business plan for your network marketing business seminar that we're doing here live today. There's a lot of parts of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about goals. We're going to talk about outcomes that you're looking for. We're going to talk about strategies, talk about a lot of different things, but I'm excited for you. I'm really proud of you for investing in yourself, taking the time to learn how you can do better. So as we're going, I've got a monitor here so I can see all the people who are logging in and saying hello. So hello to all of you. And during this webcast, I'll be answering some of your questions live as we go through each section. Marina is sitting over behind the camera here, and she is gathering questions about each segment that we're going to be going through, and she's going to be feeding those to me when we come to the question and answer session. We're going to try and capture as many of the questions that are common amongst all of you. So be thinking about that as you're going through this. I want to welcome the GoPro Academy members, the charter members for GoPro Academy. This is part of your benefit for being involved with GoPro Academy. You get to watch this, and every single month you get to watch these live coaching sessions absolutely free. So congratulations for you to be able to access all of this as a GoPro Academy member. Those of you who just bought this course a la carte, you bought this on its own, we'll let you know about GoPro Academy, because I think you may find as you're going through this, wow, I'd like to get coaching like this once a month, plus some other benefits. We'll show you how you can access that, okay? So let me give you, I've got a whole bunch of notes here, and I'm going to be going to the flip chart, and we're going to be drawing a bunch of things. We're going to be talking about a bunch of things. Let me give you a little bit of the schedule, okay? We're going to do some opening conversation here, and then the first real module of this is going to be giving you some ideas on how you can set some goals and create some outcomes that you're looking for in your business over the next 12 to 18 months. And that's really the target, 12 to 18 months. Whether you're watching this to begin the year or whether you're watching this in the middle of the year, you could do this anytime. But 12 to 18 months is how we like to plan and how I coach people around the world. And when I talk about coaching, what I'm going to give you today is information that I usually give, or I always give, to the people who pay me big sums of money to coach them on how to create more productivity in their business. Whether they're 6- and 7-figure earners, whether they're companies, we go through the same process, this 4-step process. So goals and outcomes is the first section. Second outcome, the second module, is going to be strategies. I'm going to give you 30 or 40 ideas that you can use in order to be able to keep your people engaged and create more productivity throughout the year. These are strategies that are working for other people around the world. They've worked for me, worked for many leaders. Some of them are golden oldies. Some of them are kind of fresh and exciting. Both are exciting because they get results. So we're going to go through strategies. That's going to be a pretty long segment, the strategy segment. Then we're going to take your goals and the strategies, and we're going to start to create a business plan, a 12 to 18 month business plan for you. And then finally, we're going to create some accountability systems for you over the course of the next 12 to 18 months to make sure that you follow through. The accountability systems that you need to set up around your life to make sure that you do the things that you put into place with this business plan. Too many people don't approach their network marketing business like a real business. They just don't. They're winging it. They're crossing their fingers and hoping for the best. You're different. That's why you're here. And it's one thing to be here and do this. It's another thing to really treat this serious. And I would ask you, how many people that are watching this have ever written a business plan for any other form of business that you've ever done in your life? If you have, put yes, I've created a business plan in the comments on the chat roll here. Because really what we're talking about is creating, treating this like you would treat a business, and really the same as a business plan. So again, let me walk through the 4 things that we're going to do here. 1, we're going to help you set some goals. 2, we're going to go through strategies. Strategies, campaigns, those types of things, right? 3, we're going to create your business plan. And 4, we're going to help you create some accountability for your business, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we're going to be doing. I'm seeing in the comments, guys, that the volume is very low. Are you working on that? Okay, so they'll get the volume taken care of for you, hopefully. And if you can hear me good, go ahead and let us know in the comments that you can hear good. John, I hear you. The volume is low. Yes, I got it. All right, cool. So let me give you some ideas as we start here. One is make sure that you take notes. This is an in-depth process. The 2-3 hours we're going to spend here together, and it's probably going to be closer to 3 hours than 2, we're going to spend here together, is a start to creating a business plan. You can't create a business plan in 3 hours, not a real one. You can create a business idea or direction, but it's hard to create an in-depth plan in 2-3 hours. We're going to give you all the raw materials to do it, but when you take the notes, then the work starts, okay, when you're done with this. Next, turn off all the distractions. Close out all the other windows, close out Facebook, close out your inbox, close out all the other stuff, because the machine that you're looking at, watching this with, whether it's a phone, a tablet, or a laptop, or desktop, all of those machines are distraction machines. They're there. Things are going to pop up and notifications, all different kinds of things, and it's going to distract you and take you off track. So do the best you can to turn off the distractions and create a real solid work environment. This is an investment in you. Third note that I would give you as we start is don't get too overwhelmed. This is a lot. This is a lot of stuff. And I went through some of this in a 2-day leadership session I did for a company just last week, and their eyes were big, especially when I was going through the campaigns. It's a lot of stuff, and understand that you don't have to think through all the implementation of this today. We're going to be giving you the raw materials, and then you're going to let it absorb, and you're going to think it through, and you're going to talk with your team or talk with your friends in the business, and you're going to modify, and you're going to put it all together. So try not to, anytime you're like, this is too much, just relax. Just relax, get the information, and we'll work together to help you move it through. Also, I would tell you, I don't know if I told you already, but I'll tell you again, we're going to take breaks about every 45 minutes or so, just a bathroom break or to refresh your mind. 2-3 minutes, every 45 minutes or so, we'll take a quick break so you can go do whatever you need to do. Get a fresh glass of water or go to the bathroom, whatever you need. So we'll be doing that. Now, so let me just recap. Turn off the distractions. Don't get overwhelmed. Work starts when we finish today. The goal is to have a solid business plan for the next 12 to 18 months. This program is good to creation of a business plan any time of year. It doesn't have to be a calendar year. And the coaching experience is going to have 4 distinct sections: goals and outcomes, strategies, business plan, and accountability. And I'm going to be answering questions as we go. Okay? So let's get started. First thing I want to talk about is goals. Goals and outcomes for your business. Now, let me get a fresh page in my giant flip chart here. Goals. Now, with goals, here's what I want you to understand. Sometimes when you're setting goals, you set all kinds of goals. Spiritual goals and health goals and relationship goals and all different kinds of things. The New Year's resolution type stuff. I want to keep this focused on your network marketing business goals. Okay? So let's start there. Let's keep it there. You can use this process for other areas of your life, but if we keep this focused on your network marketing business, it's going to help. So let's start creating a list, all right? First on the list is an income goal. Now, I want you to think about this, your income. Why is that important? Because some of you are really selfless people, you love others, you want to help them with your product, you want to help other people grow your business. Some of that is self-esteem issues because you are afraid to set a goal for yourself for your own income. I get the heart, and what I do is all about contribution too. But here's why income is important for you. Here's why income is important for you. Set this number here, whatever this number is a reflection of how many people you're helping. You see, in other businesses, an income is not necessarily a reflection of helping people. It's a win-lose scenario in many cases. Somebody's income on Wall Street, or in some areas of Wall Street, not all of Wall Street, but in some areas of finance or whatever, somebody has to lose for you to win. Here in our business, you only succeed by helping other people have a great product experience, have a great income experience, a great business experience, by expanding the network, bringing more value to the world. So here's kind of the hard reality. And this program that we're doing is designed for all levels, whether you're a brand new person, medium level, or you're advanced. A seven-figure earner can still benefit from what we're talking about here. But an income goal is important because it's a scorecard of the number of people that you're helping. Now, here's a hard truth, and you're here for me to tell you the truth, so I'm going to tell you the truth. The income that you have right now is a direct reflection of the number of people that you're helping. I'll say it again. The income that you're enjoying right now is a direct reflection of the number of people that you're helping. It's a scorecard of the number of people that you are helping in the world, whether it's product or whether it's opportunity. It's a scorecard. And are you happy with that level of contribution? So what I would encourage you to do, and I'm going to start by doing something semi-shocking. First thing I want you to do is I want you to set an income goal for the next 12 months. A reasonable goal. You might have to stretch a little bit, but it's a reasonable goal, okay? So think about that for a moment, come up with a number, maybe put it into the chat roll, the number if you're willing to share. What's your income goal for the next 12 months? A reasonable income goal for the next 12 months. Put that in. And when you do, you've got a little bit of a target in your mind, right? So you set a number. So how many have set a number? Have you done it? It's important that you write it down. Write that number down because this number is going to be a target for you. It's like a magnet. It's going to pull you towards it once you get this clear in your mind. Okay? So the next thing I want you to do is a little bit scary. You've set your reasonable goal. I'm just going to call it R for reasonable. Now I want you to do something a little scary. I want you to double it. Double it. We'll call that a visionary goal. I want you to double the number that you wrote down in your notes. Double the number that you had in your mind. Double it. Now, when I do this with people, it's like their first reaction is like, oh my gosh. And I see your numbers. 100,000, 20,000 a month, 550,000, 250,000, 8,000 a month. I see your numbers as you're putting it down here. Now I want you to double it. And I want you to be serious about the double number because what's going to go through your mind, first of all, is you're going way beyond reasonable and it's a little scary. You're like, whoa, if I have to double that number, how in the world am I going to make that happen? And that's exactly the right question to have. How in the world are you going to make that happen? That's what we're going to do as we set this. So when I work with people, I don't let them, somebody's sitting at $800,000 a year and they really want to get to $1 million. I don't let, $1 million's fine because they want to get to that objective, but I typically challenge them to set their goal for $2 million and then stretch hard. Stretch their mind, stretch their vision, stretch their capabilities, stretch their business plan, stretch everything. Then $1 million gets easy. So you think about this issue, right? And I'm seeing your visionary goals. Suzanne, yours was 5,000. Now it's 100,000. 5,000, I guess, a month. Now it's 100,000. 16,000 a month. 200,000. 10,000. 344,000. If it's doubled is 400,000. See, it's really important that you settle in on that number. I want you to circle the visionary number that you have in your notes. Just circle that. And then now we're going to create some other goals, some other outcomes that we're looking for in order to be able to, we'll work on strategies to help you get there, accountability to help you get there, the whole thing. Okay? So income is first. Income is first. Next, habits. What are the habits that you need to engage in if you want to be able to do better? Okay? I'll give you some ideas, and most of the time, the answer to the habit question for you is the opposite side of the coin of the bad habits you have now. See, what happens when I coach people on habits is nobody can necessarily get rid of a habit, you just replace a habit with something else. Instead of doing this, now you do this. Instead of being late all the time, now you're early all the time. See what I mean? So instead of procrastination, you do it now. Those types of things. So if you think about the things that you would consider bad habits for you, we can look at the other side of it and create some ideas as far as what we're going to focus on for the next 12 to 18 months on your habits. I'll give you some ideas. The opposite of procrastination is action. If you become a do-it-now person, when you think about it, you do it. You're in movement all the time. You're engaged in activity all the time. Some of you are planning to plan to plan to plan. And you love this idea that we're going to go through all this stuff so you can have an opportunity to spend some time planning. But while you're planning, you need to incorporate action into your life. Okay? Action. Become a do-it-now leader. Become a do-it-now business person. Action. Next is consistency. Lack of consistency is probably the biggest obstacle for success in network marketing. At least it was for me and a lot of the leaders that I work with. And let me tell you why. Network marketing is the most forgiving business that I'm aware of. It really is. You cannot be in action for quite some time and you still get paid from actions you've done before. You show up, you go through the motions, and you still get some rewards from it. You get a nice community from it. And something happens in our business that I call lost days. It doesn't take much for us to lose a day of our network marketing business. We don't lose a day of our work outside of network marketing. We don't lose a day of our business that we own outside of network marketing. We don't lose those days. We're focused there. But when it comes to network marketing, we can lose a day. We go, oh, look, a bird, and the day's gone. Scroll through Facebook or YouTube, and the day's gone. And one day can turn into two, and two can turn into three. If I asked you a question, how many lost days do you think, realistically, and a lost day defined as a day when you are not productive for your network marketing business, or you have a very low level of productivity for your network marketing business? How many of the last 365 days, how many would you think have been lost days? And I'll tell you, $1 million a year earners will tell me that half of their days were lost days. That's how forgiving this network marketing business is. Half. Some of you have 9 months worth of lost days over the last year, and you're still getting paid pretty good for the 3 months that were productive, or the 3 months of days if you strung them all together that were productive. So the opposite of inconsistency as a habit is consistency. That's another one to consider. Here's a third. Discipline. In order to make a business plan work, you're going to need to engage in some discipline, right? And I will tell you, I'm not the world's most disciplined person. I rebel against discipline, and it's hurt my business results over the years, a lack of discipline. Doing what you said you're going to do keeping your commitments to yourself. But if you want to really get this business plan solid, we're going to talk about discipline more in the accountability structures. That's what I use in order to be able to get the things done that I get done. Creating a support structure around me that forces me to do what I said I was going to do. So discipline is another one. Lack of discipline. Opposite of that is discipline. Next, focus. Focus. So in network marketing, we tend to look all over the place. We're looking here, we're looking there, we're taking a look at this company, we're taking a look at this opportunity, we're scattered. And we think we're multitasking. And guess what? High-level business people that are really executing on a business plan are not multitasking. They're focused. So a lack of focus is one habit. Focus is another, and it's one for you to consider as we move forward. Next, grit. I just read a book by that title, Grit. What do I mean by that? Just guts, just determination, perseverance, that you're just going to do it. When other people aren't around, some of you, all it takes for some of you to lose your perseverance is one bad comment. Somebody gives you some criticism and you get completely deflated. Others, the top level earners, when they get that obstacle, they get stronger. So think about whether you want to be a snowflake in this business or if you want to be a leader. And leaders have some grit. That's a habit, I think. When faced with an obstacle, when faced with a distraction, when faced with anything that might get in the way, they bear down and they make it happen. That's a great habit to consider. Next habit, problem solving. The ability to solve problems. This is the highest paid skill in the world. Now, some of you have been so dependent on others. You've been dependent on your upline. You've been dependent on the company events. You've been dependent on the systems. You've been dependent on your local ecosystem within your organization, in your city or your town or your state or your province or your country, wherever you are in the world. Here's a better habit than being dependent, is being independent. How do you become independent? Become a great problem solver. Learn how to solve problems that other people can't solve. The bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. Solve the problem. There's no training, solve the problem. There's no communication, solve the problem. You don't have enough customers, solve the problem. Your culture isn't strong, solve the problem. People are moving too slow, solve the problem. Learn to be resourceful, learn to be independent, and have that become a habit. Now, these are kind of the mental game that we talk about inside of network marketing, and they're important because some people don't put the mental game in their goals. They just put, I want to make more money, right? Or they do in the New Year's resolution, I want to lose weight. The part of the goals, one of the most important parts is the habits, the mental game. So let's keep moving. Let's go from emotional back to tangible. How you doing? You doing okay so far? Got some good notes so far? Okay, good. All right, next, 3. I think it's a good goal for you in 2 different areas to have a goal for customers, personal and organization. And you could look at this a few different ways. One is how many customers do you want to bring in to your distributorship? People that are connected to you. And 2, what's the percentage of customers to distributors within your group? What I'm seeing as a big major aspect of growth around the world, and we're going to talk about this in strategies, is the customers are becoming the best prospects in network marketing. So people are bringing in customers like crazy. They're having incredible product or service experiences, and then they're prospecting the customers to come in as distributors. See, in past times, people, even including myself, when I was working in the field, I would like sign up the customer as like, well, they're not going to become a distributor. Oh, might as well become a customer. And then I just kind of forget about them. But the strongest leaders today are signing up tons of customers, and they're not forgetting about them. They're staying in contact. They're staying in relationship. And they're using that to be able to grow. So if your percentage of customers to distributors is low, you might want to set a goal to increase that percentage and create campaigns and strategies and culture to be able to drive the number of customers up within your organization. So I want you to be thinking about these things, and we're going to, these are all elements, targets that we're going to be shooting for. Customers. Next is recruiting. And I'll talk about this in terms of just you as we start here. What I encourage everybody to do every 12 months is to bring in a new class. See, you know what most people do in network marketing? They try to squeeze all the juice out of their existing team. They build up a little team, and then they just, come on guys, come on girls, come on, let's go. And they just try and squeeze all of that out. They think that with their words that they can inspire these people to do more. And they've fallen in love with this group's potential, and they just spend all their time trying to push this rock uphill. Every one of you needs to set a recruiting goal. Now, some of you have bigger goals than others, but it's a minimum of 20 people over the course of the year. Minimum. Personally sponsored. 20 new people minimum. And I would prefer, if I'm coaching you, I would prefer that you try to do this in as short a period of time as possible, 30 to 60 days. Pick a 30 to 60 day window, and that's going to be your personal recruiting window. Now, in addition to that, we're going to try and increase the recruits that are happening within your organization. We have lots of campaigns to push people, for them to bring in their 20 and 30, for them to be able to engage in some of these recruiting campaigns with you. So we're going to give you some campaigns around that. So it's hard to set a goal for your whole team, though, when it comes to recruiting. So I want you to think about this in personal terms. And those of you who are part of GoPro Academy, the 20 and 30, how to recruit 20 people in 30 days course that's in your masterclass library, that there are thousands and thousands of people that have gone through that course and come out and knew exactly how to recruit 20 people in 30 days from that. Now, if you have big goals, you want to make $800,000 or some huge goal, what I would tell you is 20 is not enough. You might need to do a 20 and 30 2 or 3 times if you want to rank advance aggressively over the course of the next 12 to 18 months. So maybe you set a time, do it 20 and 30, and then 3 months goes by, you've worked with that team, and then you do 20 and 30 again, 3 months goes by, 20 and 30 again. What most top leaders do is they do at least a 20 and 30 once a year at a minimum. But if you're aggressive, you want to really go after this, I would encourage that maybe a little bit more frequently. So think about the recruiting goals that you have, bringing in the new class for your business. Next. I apologize ahead of time for my handwriting. I know it's terrible, but hopefully it's legible, kind of. Rank advancement. Two different sides of this when it comes to setting your goals. One is, what is your rank advancement objective? What rank do you need to get to in order to be able to hit this income goal that you set? What rank do you need to get to the realistic goal? What rank do you need to get to the visionary goal? What needs to happen? So make sure that all of these things are aligning with this scorecard up here. So you think about rank advancement for you and your team. I'll talk more about the core rank in a moment, but what I will tell you is rank advancement is really good because it gives you a target to be able to kind of get in alignment. So you can't say you want to have a big income without going out there and bringing in some fresh people to be able to help and guide and help them grow. You can't get to this income without getting this rank to happen. At least look at whatever the infrastructure of the people who are making the money that you want to make, what rank are they? And then break down exactly what needs to happen. Some of you just need to take the next 12 months to get back to the rank that you qualified for once upon a time. You just need to requalify in order to be able to make that happen and then move beyond that. So think about rank advancement, and we're going to come up with some strategies on how you can encourage more duplication of rank advancement within your organization, within your downline, okay? We're going to be going through that with strategies. Next. Skill development. I'm a firm believer that the team with the best skills wins. The highest level of skills wins. The highest amount of competence wins. So I want you to think about skill development first personally and then culturally inside of your organization. So a couple different categories. We have the fundamental skills. The 7 fundamental skills, which are finding prospects, finding people to talk to, inviting, which is the gateway skill, getting people to take a look, presenting in a way that works, is effective, but also duplicates, following up, answering questions, overcoming objections, keeping people in process, that's a skill, closing, helping people make a decision that they want to make, but guiding them through that as a consultant professionally, to help them become a customer, help them become a distributor. Getting a new person started effectively, that's where duplication really lives, is helping that person get results quickly. And then promoting events. Those 7 skills, those fundamental skills, if there's a gap for you, decide that you're going to close that gap and get it done. If there's a gap for your team culturally, design a campaign in order to be able to promote that skill culturally. And we'll talk about that in campaigns. Okay? You can't get to the top just being excited. You got to know what you're doing. And the fundamental skills are going to do that. And again, GoPro Academy members, you have a whole masterclass library designed to teach you all these fundamental skills. So you have no excuse. You have access to all of this. Every course I've ever created, you have access to as a GoPro Academy member. So make sure that you're accessing it. But my recommendation is pick a skill, master it. Pick the second skill, master it. And these skills are all masterable. Well, not all of them, but most of them are masterable within 72 hours. You can create a business plan for finding prospects, a little plan within a plan, based upon the training that's provided inside of your masterclass library, the GoPro Masterclass library. Same thing for inviting. You can master that quickly. Presenting, you can master that quickly. Follow up and answering questions, overcoming objections, you can master that quickly, right? So how much longer do you want to just wander through your network marketing experience without the skills? Crossing your fingers, hoping for the best. Let those days be behind you. Decide that you're going to get these fundamental skills solved. So GoPro Academy members, pick the skill that you're weak at or is holding you back and get into that masterclass library and learn it. Master it. Find out what other people are doing that do it well. It's all in there. Okay? Now, if you're not part of GoPro Academy, I'll show you how that works in a little bit. And you can access all of these courses as well. Next, on top of skill development and social media, we live in a world today that is more connected than ever before. So a major trend when it comes to skill development is learning how to use social media in a responsible way, in a way that's compliant, but also in a way that is effective. And when I'm seeing people bringing in massive customers and then using that to get massive distributors, social media has really come alive in the last 2 years or so. There's a lot of crazy stuff before that. But since, just in the last 2.5 years, it's been an explosion of not only growth for a person who's cracked the code, but duplication. And again, inside of the Masterclass library, GoPro Academy members, you have the whole social media mastery course, one of our top selling courses. Recruit 20 people in 30 days in the social media mastery course is in there. So that's 5 modules, 77 people who've recruited 100 people or more using social media, all their stuff. But find out what people are doing inside of social media and develop that skill and see where you can find places to duplicate that. And we're going to talk more about that in campaigns. Next is, well, that's basically it. So you got the fundamental skills here. The third area would be like leadership skills. Are you an influencer or not? Are you an influencer or not? Is that a skill where you lack, or do you need to work on it? So just be honest with yourself. Have a high level of self-awareness when we're doing all of this. You know, we're setting our income goal. We have our habits that we're working on. We've had the customers that we're going to be looking at. We got the recruiting goal that we're going to be doing, the rank advancement. We got skill development. And being aware of this, opening your eyes and looking at your business honestly on this will help you tremendously. Jumping up and down and getting excited is not a plan. After you're done jumping around, somebody's got to have some skill in order to be able to make something happen. So this is the start. Now, let me talk about, I'm going to go to, well, I'm going to have leadership development be its own category. So let's go to number 7 under goals. Leadership development. Now, what do I mean by that? Some people, again, I'm acting as your coach today, as you're watching this, and some people adopt this philosophy, if it is to be, it's up to me, and they take it too far, because if success is to be, it is up to you, but you can't do everything on your own. And some of you have decided that you're going to do everything for your team and they don't have to become much. Have you ever noticed that a lot of the people who go to the top inside of network marketing don't really have a great upline? Have you ever noticed that? My upline wasn't incredible when I first got started in network marketing. It never was, really. What happened for me is because they weren't doing everything for me, I had to become more of a leader. Now, I'm not saying ignore your people or leave them on their own and be a bad upline. What I am saying is develop a leadership development or have a leadership development goal. So here's how I look at it. Take inventory within your organization of who has the potential to get to the rank that you are, or even beyond that rank. And spend a lot of time. Put them right here on your hip. It's a big brother, big sister program, a mentoring program where you connect with them and you really work to develop leaders. What you want to develop in a leader is independence, a person who solves problems, a person who creates action, right? A person who creates results, really an influencer. So have a goal for how many influencers would you like to have on your team over the course of the next year? Now, let me give you just a criteria for an influencer. And if you're taking notes in the chat roll, write these down. Okay? An influencer. 1, they're independent. They don't need help. They're not whiny. They're not complainers. They don't blame. They're independent. Now, I'm not saying that they are a lone wolf outside of the system. They're in the system, but they're not needy people. That's criteria number 1. Criteria number 2, they solve problems. That's part of what creates the independence for them. They solve problems. Problem comes up, they just solve it. They don't ask first, they solve it. Criteria number 3 is they create action when action wouldn't have been there without them. When they're just around, they create activity, they create movement, they create volume, they create customers, they create distributors, they create all this stuff all the time. So think about those criteria and think about how many people fit that criteria inside of your organization. It's not a big number. And I'll tell you, for $1 million earner in network marketing, the average number of influencers for $1 million a year earner is about 25 to 30 in that range. That's all. In order to be able to generate $1 million a year income, 25 to 30 people that fit that criteria. So here's what I would suggest for you in your goals. How many people can you help fit that criteria in the next 12 to 18 months? How many people can you help become an influencer in the next 12 to 18 months? And then we'll come up with strategies in order to be able to do it. But pick a number. Pick a number in the leadership development aspect. Pick a number that aligns with your goals. And then we'll come up with strategies on how we can help you hit that number. Make sense? All right, let's keep moving. Next is culture. You might say, this sounds weird as a goal. It's not weird. The culture of your organization is vitally important. Creating a culture. And here's what I mean by culture. What do you want your team to be known for? Sharp, highly skilled, or winging it? Your team is always on time or they're always late? Your team is all about speed and velocity and movement, or it's slow and steady and take your time? It's aggressive or it's passive? It's lab coats on with the products and knowing every product ingredient, or it's more about benefits? So that's a decision for you. And right now your organization has a culture, but I want you to think about, is it part of your culture that everybody in your group goes to the big events from the company? Or is it a culture that only a few of the leaders do? Or is it a culture that now I'll send somebody and they'll bring me back the notes? What's the culture? Decide what you want your group to be known for and put this into your goals. Next, geographical expansion goal. Geographical expansion goal. Here's what I mean by this. All of your business shouldn't be in your hometown. In a reasonable period of time, a minimum of 70% of your organization should be outside of your geographical reach. What I mean by that is within a drive. It needs to be outside of a driving distance, a reasonable driving distance, after you've been in business for a while. And certainly over the next 18 months, you can decide to expand this geographically, decide to move it around the world, decide to move it from your state or province or territory to another one. But if you come up with a goal to be able to make that happen, you're highly more likely to make it happen. If you just ignore it and it just happens by accident, that's another thing. The strong leaders, they come up with strategies to be able to expand from their main city to maybe a 3-city area around them and building teams in those 3 cities. And then a long distance strategy to start expanding their business around their country. And maybe an international strategy, if your company is international, to be able to leverage the capabilities of having an international group. So think about the geographical expansion goals that would be in alignment with where you want to go in your business. Okay. I got one more and then I'll answer some questions. So if you have some questions now, please go ahead and put that into the comments, into the chat. And Marina will pick some out for me and I will answer some. Then after the questions, we'll take a break. Next this is a big one. I'll say the whole way. Destination event attendance. Here's what I mean by that. Big company conferences. Something where people have to travel, stay in a hotel, a 2-day event, a 1-day event, a 3-day event, company conventions, conferences, those types of things. This is humongous, and we're going to talk about this a lot in campaigns. But if I was with you face to face in your home and we were just the two of us working, which is I want you to feel the same way because that's how I'm looking at you because you're here, we have to make this happen. I have to know what your events are, what your event calendar is for the next 12 to 18 months, and we have to come up with a goal for attendance for those events. So let's say you've got an 18-month goal to grow your business to a $500,000 a year income. Here's what I know about destination event attendance. You will earn, here's a little formula, it's not scientific, but it holds fairly true around the world for just about any opportunity. You'll earn approximately $1,000 for every person you have attend a destination event and your team per year. So if you want to make $50,000 a year, find a way to grow your attendance over the course of these 18 months up to 50 people on your team. And you'll be staring at $50,000 a year. If you want to make $100,000 a year, come up with a strategy and a goal to be able to, over these 18 months, you might not be able to get there the first one, but over these 18 months to get to 100 people, you'll be staring at $100,000 a year in the face. You want to get 250, come up with a strategy and set a goal to get 250 people. We'll work on strategies, but set a goal to get 250 people over the course of these 18 months, ultimately to one of these destination events. You want to make $1 million? It's 1,000 people in your team attending a destination event. It's really that simple. After $1 million, the formula starts to break down a little bit, but up to about $1 million a year, it holds true. So to recap all of these things, income. Very important that you set income. Habits. Here are the habits that you need to think about. This is just suggestion. Whatever the habit is for you, whatever the habit, the negative habit that's holding you back, if it's not on this list, add it to this list. And then look at the other side of the coin. If your negative habit is this, what's the opposite of that? And have that as a goal. We'll come up with strategies to be able to make that happen and accountability to be able to make that happen. What's your customer goal? Personal and percentage inside of the team. What's your recruiting goal? What's your rank advancement goal? What's your skill development goal for you and the team? And then, what's your leadership development goal? How many influencers do you want to have on your team, and what are you going to do to make that happen? What's the culture goal? What do you want your team to be known for? What's your geographical expansion goal? And what's your destination event attendance goal? Okay? So let me answer some questions. First one's from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. When you talk about 20 and 30 days, do you mean business builders or customers? I mean business builders. These are people who with the intent to grow a business. Now, not all of them are going to be wildly successful, but put together a campaign to make that happen. Gather your strength, prepare, get rid of the distractions, and just go hard, all in, recruiting for 30 days, and just do not lift your head up until you get 20 people brought into your business. Talk to as many people as you have to in order to be able to make that happen, okay? And like I said, for GoPro Academy members, the How to Recruit 20 People in 30 Days is in your masterclass library. Diana asks, if newer in the business, should geographical expansion be a later than 12-month goal? Yeah, here's what I would recommend if you're newer in the business. I would like you to focus in your town unless you're naturally pulled by some friends or contacts or relationships that are outside of your hometown. But build an infrastructure in your hometown. Build a team there to get some camaraderie and some face time. Proximity is power. So if you're brand new, I would build a fun little team in your hometown and then come up with some strategies once that team is in place to replicate that process in other towns. Now, if you happen to know a sharp person that lives in another city or another state or another country, well, of course you don't want to wait, but I wouldn't make it a huge global expansion goal and if you're not ready for that. I mean, because sometimes that requires some travel to go help those people, et cetera, et cetera. So build a hometown. You should always have a hometown base, but then replicate that around the world and have a strategy to be able to make that geographic expansion happen. Next question. What's a realistic income goal for a new person working part-time in network marketing? Thank you, Lisa, for the question. There is no such thing. There's no such thing. There's lots of people who are making 6 figures a year working part-time, lots of them. Very difficult to make a 7-figure part-time income or get there part-time. Some of the 7-figure earners that become 7-figure earners then become part-time because they're kicking back and they're enjoying the fruits of their labor, which I wish they wouldn't do because the world needs them to engage at a higher level and bring more contribution to the world. But, you know, look, here I see part-time as a bridge to be able to pour into this business a little bit more. So you grow your part-time business, you build it up, and then it starts to compete with your other, whatever your other work is. And then you got the hard choice. Do I stay in this dual role or do I really go after it in the network marketing business? And most people end up going after it because, again, this business is so forgiving, it's so fun, it's so rewarding. Even though it's challenging, it's better than other forms of entrepreneurship. So they go there. So I would tell you, you can get to 6 figures. It's hard to go way high into the 6 figures part-time because your team starts to pull on you quite a bit more. Can you scroll down just a little bit? Oh, Dino N says, I have a team in 30 countries, 3 continents, and the most active are in 5 countries, 3 continents. How would you make a plan to travel between them? Give them special conditions if they reach to have me there more often. This year I had 100 plus flights. I want to scale it down a little bit and make it more efficient. Here's what I would tell you, Dino, and congratulations on your success. Obviously you're doing well. I think most areas, if you're there, you could probably visit these places once a year, probably. Visit them once a year, do some big thing, come in there for a few days and shake hands and say hi to everybody, provide some inspiration, some vision, some training. And the rest of that can be virtual with technology and Zoom and Skype and everything else. WhatsApp, you can stay connected with people. Some of those you don't even need that. Sometimes we do it just to feel good. But here's what I would tell you. Don't go where you're needed. Go where they deserve you. Go pour gasoline on the fire that's really roaring. Sometimes we feel like we got to go fill in the blanks of, bad situations in different parts of the world. And most of the time what I've found is that is an exercise in frustration because they've already risen to the level that they're going to go to. So look for these influencers and reward those influencers with your time and attention. That's what I would do. If there's an influence, if you have an important key sponsorship line in a particular place, and if that takes off, it helps you hit your goal, then yeah, go in there and pour gasoline on the fire to help them move. But I've found that if you want to be efficient and you're a full-time, high-level earner, there's no need to travel more than 12 days a month, 8 to 12 days a month. 100 to 120 days, 140 days max. If you're building a big 7-figure a year business. You don't have to go far beyond that, okay? Hope that helps. Can you scroll up again? Above Fred? No? Okay. 2020 Olympic gold medalist. All right, cool. Well, congratulations in advance. How much money should you be making constantly before you quit your part-time job or full-time job? That's up to you. I'm an all-in person. So when I got involved in network marketing, I jumped in and I burned the boats. And maybe it wasn't the smartest thing in the world, and I don't necessarily tell you that you have to do that, but that was how my personality worked. I had a difficult time doing 2 things. So I would just say you build it part-time until it starts to be a struggle. It starts to conflict. It starts to get in the way. And then you got to make the hard choice. But it's different for different people. Some people make a small amount. They can jump in and go full-time. Maybe somebody else in the family has an additional stream of income that they can use for a period of time while they ramp up. Sometimes you can't, but it's really a personal thing. Give some examples of building a culture. I'll talk about that in strategies, Fred. And Jay asks, when you're talking about people attending, do you mean distributorships? What if you have a couple that is distributorship, 1 or 2 people? When I talk about this event attendance, it's total bodies attending. That's just the way this formula works. Total bodies attending. That's how this works. So if you get couples, that's fantastic. Okay? Now, I've talked to you a couple times about, before we're going to take a break in just a moment, but I've talked to you about a couple times. GoPro Academy members already know this. When it comes to skill development, recruiting 20 and 30, social media, fundamental skills, all of those things. If you're watching this and you're not part of GoPro Academy, let me just take 90 seconds and talk to you about GoPro Academy. All right. GoPro Academy is a course. People have been asking me for forever, can you give me coaching? Will you? And I charge 6 figures a year, and I only coach 7-figure a year or above earners, and I don't even have time to add any more to that slate at all. If you come to one of our high-level leadership programs, it's between $5,000 and $15,000 to attend those. So I wanted to come up with a way. This is an example, and we're just getting started, by the way. A way for me to come into your living room, it's like I moved in with you, and coach you. So we came up with something called GoPro Academy. And GoPro Academy has 2 important parts. One is, once a month, I come into your house via an event like this, and I coach you. Every month, there's 2-3 hours where I help you focus, get rid of the clutter, and just go to work. So that's the first part, is private group coaching like this once a month for you to be able to use and grow your business. But here's the other cool thing. All these courses that we talked about, we have what we call our masterclass library. And inside the masterclass library, we've got social media mastery, objections, 20 and 30, recruiting mastery, most powerful women, home study courses, insanity boot camp, how to do a 90-day game plan, network marketing speaker academy, all of that, and much, much more. We got the recruiting, getting limitless, invitation masterclass, unstoppable confidence, time management, radical duplication, first steps, getting started in network marketing. All of those things, if you bought all of those a la carte, it's $7,700 and $77.38. I don't know how they came up with 38, but I know that that's an accurate number. If you go to our website, that's what those courses are sold for. Okay, for real. It's not some inflated number. But GoPro Academy members get access to every single course I've ever created while they're a member. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. Check that out if you want to. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and we're going to come back and start going through strategies and campaigns. This is the guts of how we turn these goals into reality. Okay? See you in 3 minutes.